Welcome back to another episode of Politics Unfiltered. I want to do something different this episode. I want to dedicate this episode to the folks in my hometown, my beloved Memphis, Tennessee, the place where I'm raising my children, where my business is headquartered, where the studio where I'm recording this podcast episode from is located. I want to dedicate this episode because any day now, at any moment, troops could begin rolling into the city of Memphis. Troops, that's right, National Guard troops could be rolling into this city. And who knows where they could be, outside of my neighborhood, outside of our children's school, setting up roadblocks, moping around the streets with assault rifles. They could be anywhere, any day now. As a city, in this moment, we have to stand together. Not just as a city, but as a people, standing at a turning point for our city and for our country. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, has announced that he is sending the National Guard to Memphis, him and the governor of the state of Tennessee. He wants the world to believe that this is about fighting crime. He wants the world to believe that he is stepping in to rescue the folks of Memphis. He even went on social media, his social media site, Truth Social, and he typed out the words, "Only I can save them." He's talking about Memphis. Only I can save them. But let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. This is not the language of a president in a nation built on democracy. The language that he is using is the language of a man who sees himself as a strong man, as a savior, as a ruler above the people. That is the language of a dictatorship. Folks, we cannot be fooled by this man. We cannot be used by this man. In this moment, we have to be crystal clear that Memphis is not a stage for his political theater. Memphis is not his war zone. Memphis is our home. It's the foundation of our lives. Let's pull back the curtain for a moment, because Donald Trump is not coming to Memphis to fight crime. Crime in Memphis, by the city's own data, has already been declining. It's already declining. And let me be clear, because I don't want this to be taken out of context. Yes, there is undeniably a crime problem here. But the mayor and his administration is working to lower it. The data shows it. Crime rate is ticking down. The president knows that. The folks in the White House knows that. He's seen those numbers. The folks in the White House have seen those numbers. But folks, in his attempt to score political points, he'll lie. He's currently lying. He's lying as if somehow he's the reason for the decline that was happening before troops or federal resources even shows up here. He lies, and he takes credit for the things that he's had nothing to do with. Things that are already happening before he ever decided to deploy troops here. Think about that. He's already out taking a victory lap and hasn't done anything to truly turn the tide in this city. This is not about crime. This is about control. This is about control. This is not about keeping the people of Memphis safe for Donald Trump. This is about making the people of Memphis afraid of Donald Trump. And this is not about Memphis alone. It's about him building a national narrative. A narrative where the president says, look at me. I alone can save you. Only I control the streets of this country. Only I impose order in this country. Folks, that's not democracy. That is a dictator in disguise. Donald Trump is a dictator in disguise. He's just waiting for the right moment. He's waiting for the right moment. And he's hoping. He's sending troops here because he's hoping that Memphis is that moment. Why Memphis? It's not just about crime. It's just not about the crime that's happening. Why our city? If you're listening to this podcast and you're saying, I thought he was sending troops to Chicago. I thought he was sending troops to New Orleans, but all of a sudden, he's sending troops to Memphis. He chose Memphis because it's a majority black city. He chose Memphis because Memphis has lived through decades of disinvestment, decades of redlining, decades of crumbling schools, decades of underfunded neighborhoods, decades of having our jobs shipped away. Instead of sending resources and opportunity to Memphis, they send us occupation. Instead of sending us hope, they send us helmets and Humvees. Folks, Donald Trump sees the population here in this city not as citizens to be uplifted, but as a problem to be controlled, a problem to be fixed. He sees our neighborhoods not as communities, but as battlegrounds. But let me tell you something. Memphis is not broken. Memphis is not weak. Memphis is not waiting for a savior named Donald Trump. Memphis is alive. Memphis is resilient. Memphis is creative. Memphis is powerful. And we can't let any president, Democrat or Republican, define us less than who we are. Because once they define us as less than who we are, then they will invest less than what we deserve. We've seen it happen. Historically, just look at it. They have not invested in this city. This deployment of troops to our city is not about protecting lives in Memphis. If it were, the president would be investing in our schools, investing in our hospitals, investing in our streets, investing in small businesses, investing in jobs. Instead, he's investing tax dollars in soldiers on our corners. That tells us everything about his agenda. To the folks of this city, I want you to hear me loud and clear. If you listen to this podcast, I want you to know why. He is setting a trap. He's setting a trap for the people of this city. He's banking on us going out, taking to the streets, causing chaos. Trump is not hoping for peace. He is hoping for chaos. He is not hoping for calm. He is hoping for confrontation. He wants images on news screens and on news covers all across this country. He wants images of conflict. He wants clips of violence. He wants headlines like, Memphis erupts, Memphis in chaos, because then he can get headlines like Trump restores order or Trump saves the day. Folks, we cannot play into this trap. That is the script that he's already written. He's already written that script. That's his playbook. We cannot give him that script. We will not give him the chaos he craves. We will not give him the headlines he is writing in advance. Folks in the White House right now are mapping out the end game. We will not let our pain be his politics. We can't. We can't. We can't. For the sake of the future of this city, we can't. Instead, there is something that we can do. We can write our own story, a story of restraint, a story of discipline, a story of unity, a story that says to the world, when Memphis was tested, we were not willing to be a backdrop for this president, not willing to be his pawn, not willing to be an excuse for dictatorship. We're a city of grit and grind, hardworking blue-collar folks. We're Memphis. That's who we are. We're the city on the bluff. And folks like to say we don't bluff. And in this moment, we're going to choose dignity, the dignity of the people of this city, over the division of this president and the politics out of Washington. So what do? We can't stop it. We got a Republican governor. We got a Republican president. We got a Republican supermajority in this state. So you can't stop them from sending troops here. But you can resist, and you can make sure that the folks in this city understand what's at stake in the coming days in the coming weeks ahead. So what do? First, we start by refusing to be baited. We start by refusing to let them turn our home into a war zone. Here's what we must do together. Small things that we must do together as a community. You need to talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, talk to your family. When you're at work, talk to your coworkers. Make sure everyone understands what's at stake. This is not about whether you like or dislike Donald Trump, because I know that in this city, there's a lot of folks who don't like Donald Trump. This is about whether we allow Memphis to be used as a trigger for a flawed national agenda. It's about whether we allow our city to be used as a pawn in this game for a flawed national agenda. Second, if you protest, and many of us will, heed this warning. Listen to my words, because they are waiting. They are waiting for some shit to pop off. Do it with discipline. Do it with respect. Because here's the truth. The troops who are being deployed to this city, the troops who are coming here, they're not our enemies. They are young men and women, just like all of us, who did not ask to come here. They're being ordered to come here, ordered to play pieces on a board in this president's game. Do not let them turn us against those young troops. Do not give the president the image of violence he's praying for. Third, we got to organize. We must organize. We got to organize. We need to host community discussions. We need to hold community and neighborhood meetings. We need to bring people together in churches, in living rooms, in parks, wherever you can gather people at. Hell, when you pass people in the grocery store, you need to be talking about unity in this moment. You need to be talking about discipline in this moment. You need to be talking about, how we'll respond with power, not with chaos. Fourth, we need to demand real solutions. If Washington wants to help Memphis, then let them help by fixing our schools. Let them help build affordable housing. Let them help by bringing health care to every neighborhood. Let them help by investing in small businesses and good-paying jobs in the city. Do not give us soldiers. Give us opportunity. Give us resources. Do not give us tanks. Give us teachers. Do not give us curfews. Give us capital for our communities. Fifth, we need to lift up the real Memphis. Show the world our soul, our music, our resilience, our love. Show them Beale Street, South Memphis, and Orange Mountain, and Fraser, and North Memphis, and everywhere in between. Every neighborhood that has raised us in this city, the neighborhoods that have shaped us in this city, show them that Memphis is more than the fear-mongering of a president who is desperate for power, a president who won't even step foot in this city, but will send troops, will tell us that only he can save us. Won't you come here, Mr. President? Come here and see for yourself the people of Memphis. Folks, if you listen to this podcast, I want you to know that what happens here in the coming days will echo far beyond here. If Trump can use Memphis as his example, he will use us to justify sending troops to other black cities, other black communities, other poor communities, other places of resistance. But if we stand strong, if we stand disciplined, if we show the world that we won't be baited into chaos, then Memphis will be a place where his plan falls apart. Hell, we might be the place or the city that saves democracy in this country. We may just be the proof that America cannot be ruled by fear. We will be the example that communities cannot be controlled by dictatorship. So let me be clear. Donald Trump can post all the hell he wants. How long can save them? We know the truth. We know who Donald Trump is, and we know who Memphis is. And we know better. We know that no president, no politician, especially not an outsider, will save us. We save ourselves through unity, through discipline, through love of our city. He can lie about crime, which he has no problem doing. He can take false credit, which he has no problem doing. But we know the truth. Crime in Memphis has already been falling, not because of Trump, but because of the work of our communities, our leaders, our neighbors, folks who fight every day for peace in this city. We know that we have a crime problem and we are fighting like hell to fix it. He can send troops, but he cannot send dignity. That's on us. He can deploy soldiers to our streets, but he cannot deploy hope. That's on us. He can occupy our streets for as long as he wants, but he cannot occupy our spirit. That's on us. Memphis, we are bigger than this moment. We are bigger than this little man, this little person that lives inside of this little man who thinks he is the ruler of the world. We are stronger than this president's agenda. We are wiser than his games. Folks, we must rise together. Let us be the city, that shining city up on the hill that says to the world, Memphis will not be the spark of a dictatorship. Memphis will not be the battlefield of politics. Memphis is our home. It's the place that we're raising our children, living our lives. And we will defend it not with rage, not with chaos, but with unity, with discipline, and with love. Folks, thank you for taking an opportunity to listen to another episode of Politics Unfiltered. I hope you like, subscribe, share this episode, and remember that in the coming days, not just in Memphis, but all across our nation, we are in a fight for democracy. We are in the fight to control the power in this country, and we will win. This is Politics Unfiltered. I'm out.